Hello everybody and welcome back to Entity's Campfire. We're here with another week 2 game of Tamashi Vs Elysium. First, we have the Hillbilly on Badham Preschool, Tamashi on Killer First, Elysium surviving, and right now, looks like our survivors are rotating around the map, getting on their own separate generators, and Uncle Grandpa here yet again playing the Hillbilly for Tamashi. We have seen them play this killer before, and a very aggressive Hex build. I think, if not the same build, a pretty similar build to what I remember this same player bringing a couple weeks ago in the qualifiers. Very, very Hex-heavy build. We have the Ruin, Devour Hope, Thrill of the Hunt, and Crowd Control to help progress those generators and block windows when survivors vault them, and also that Thrill of the Hunt to keep all the totems alive with the Devour Hope, which on the Hillbilly may not seem like a very good perk, but the survivors are very good at forcing M1s here where the killer cannot get the power down, so it definitely does have its uses. But we do see 2 totems go off in the distance there, and I believe that was Ruin and Blood Favor, if I'm not mistaken here. That window is not blocking, so that is Ruin and Blood Favor, both gone. Throw of the Hunt and Devour Hope, I think, remain on the map, but survivors actually are aware of that. Silhei is on a totem off in the distance, while Obi and Zynox are cranking those generators at about 30%. An amazing job by Ivan there. I was just about to say, if Uncle Grandpa here commits to Ivan any longer, they might just lose all the gens right here, because Ivan took him on a very, very long chase there and not quite able to get the down on him through the very powerful House of Pain building. But now the chase here is on Zynox. We have our 2-story building with that filler right next to it, but Zynox doesn't have a whole lot to work with here anymore. I wonder if I was going to say, I wonder if we're going to see a flare come in, because Zynox is not long for this world here. Not many resources left, but the survivors are doing what they need to do. We do have one generator that Obi is on that's about to pop, and Silhei is about 70% of his own. But the important thing here, everybody, is that the killer is basically rendered perkless right now. We only have 1 totem left, and I believe it's just Thrill of the Hunt. So on its own, that really doesn't do anything. The killer does not have any Ruin to slow down gens. We don't have any Pop. We don't have any Eruption. Of course, no Pain Res is allowed. So right now, Uncle Grandpa has lost 2 generators. We've gotten 1 hook on the board so far, but I suspect the second half of this game might be really hard without any perks. Silhei does go down as I say this, though, but Uncle Grandpa will just be taking this hook, and I think at this point in the game, they're probably accepting the fact that they are not going to 4K here. 2 generators have already been done, and you're basically perkless. Elysium, of course, is a strong team. You might not be able to try and 4K anymore, but Uncle Grandpa at least does have a couple fresh hooks. Even if there isn't going to be a very big result coming in, you can at least try to play for some different hook stages on unique survivors here. But Ivan on the chase again. I think we'll be going down here. Yeah, does not make this pallet, not quite enough distance for that. And we might be seeing that play come in from Uncle Grandpa here. We are not slugging and going back to hook, trying to get a tunnel out or anything. We are just getting these fresh hooks and taking them as we get the downs, because this is a pretty powerful survivor map. I don't think Uncle Grandpa really expected for a while, probably for a while now, to 4K. So 3 hooks on the board, 3 fresh hooks as well, and right now resources are dwindling a little bit. Zynox is going to be taking chase here in this corner, but the filler pallet is gone, so they will have to juke something here. But actually they have this little van pallet, but doesn't go down just yet. I think that was a lithe around the van here. Yes, it was. That was a lithe used around the vehicle, and the pallet is now gone. But now Zynox has distance on the House of Pain, and our killer is going to leave to chase Obi at the Killer Shack. Everybody, this is what Badham is all about. We have the 2-story building here, which is pretty strong. We have, of course, the preschool with the 2 god pallets, and then the House of Pain is very, very strong on its own, as well as the Killer Shack. Not really expecting a very big result on the killer side here anytime I am casting a game on this map, because there is just so much safety, especially when the survivor team is like Elysium, where they are going to be coordinated and on the same page about things. You can't really catch them off guard most of the time, so this is going to be a very difficult spot for Uncle Grandpa. Again, pretty much perkless. We don't have any perks to help us slow down the generators or anything like that, so this is going to be a very difficult mid to late game for Uncle Grandpa, I suspect. As this filler pallet comes down, Zynox will be playing it nice and safe and dropping that and vaulting into Shack, but Uncle Grandpa not interested in committing. Maybe worried about these generators here. Obi sprint bursting away from this active generator, but remember, this pallet here, I believe, is still up, so Obi is able... Oh, okay. I think Obi was afraid of the overdrive timing and tried to dodge it, but Uncle Grandpa playing the patient game, waiting to see what Obi does. And this will be hook stage number 4. All fresh hooks achieved. And honestly, 4 fresh hooks, or 4 hooks right now may not seem like a whole lot with no tunnel out coming in for a killer like the Hillbilly, but I'd say Uncle Grandpa is doing not a bad job at all. I would say, dare I say, even a good job here, because this map is so difficult for a lot of killers, and Billy is able to curve around some of these cars. His power isn't completely useless, but there are just so many good pallets against most killers on this map, and Uncle Grandpa at this point I think has eaten most of them here. We still, I do believe, have Shack Pallet here, but a lot of these fillers around the map are gone, so a little bit less safety from now on until the end of the game. And Obi actually taking that borrowed time hit, and Uncle Grandpa is interested in committing to him now, but we do have Blood Rush on Obi as well, so I don't believe it's been used yet, so we could just see another Sprint Burst come in. But Uncle Grandpa leaving yet again. I think a little too afraid to commit to a chase here because of the generator progress, but honestly, if I were Uncle Grandpa right now, I'd just take whatever hook I can get. I do think leaving Obi may have been a little bit of a mistake here, but we were able to get the transfer onto Zynox here. If Uncle Grandpa is able to get the hook on the Zynox either in the basement or far away from an exit gates in a secluded area, you could just camp this out. Or honestly, the Hillbilly is such a good camping killer. I think if Zynox goes down and gets put on the hook at any point here, Elysium will just have to leave, because everybody is worth the same amount of hook stages right now. Very good crouch check by Zynox, going to make the filler pallet up here, and I think just really hoping he can have a chase good enough to get him to the gate. But as soon as Zynox goes on that hook, everybody's worth the same amount of stages. They will just leave him because Uncle Grandpa can rev the chainsaw at the hook, and there isn't really anything they can do. But now we have 2 survivors here in this main building. Zynox trying to flare it again, but not quite able to. And I think they should take this hook. And it looks like Uncle Grandpa agrees. We are going to be getting this hook on the backside of main. And at this point, if Zynox dies, that will be 6 hook stages on 4 fresh survivors. I would say very respectable result for the Hillbilly on this map. Elysium could try and pull this, but it would be very ill-advised. The moment a survivor comes up and Uncle Grandpa fully sends a chainsaw, they will go down, and that would be 7 hook stages if they die. So yeah, Elysium realizes this. They're going to be taking their outs and just leaving through the exit gate. Nothing you can do really to unhook against the Hillbilly, unless you're able to blind them or something, but nobody was in position. So that ends up being 6 hook stages on 4 fresh survivors for Tamashi on the killer side. So I would say very respectable result. Well played, Uncle Grandpa here, but definitely still a beatable result for Elysium on the killer side. This is still anybody's game. We're going to take a very short break to set up the lobby, and we'll be back for the next trial with more Hillbilly on Bad Ham, this time with Elysium on killer and Tamashi on survivor. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hello everybody and welcome back to Tamashi Vs Elysium. Now we are here with Obi on the Hillbilly for Elysium here. Not the typical Xeno we normally see, so I'm not sure if this was a planned thing or if this is maybe a fill-in because Xeno is not present, but we have Obi on the Hillbilly. I am excited to see how this trial goes because it looks like we have a very similar build to last match. Actually, the exact same build, except we have Blood Favor swapped for Corrupt Intervention to help with some early game slowdown, but we are stacked with the Hexes. We have Ruin, Thrill of the Hunt, and Devour Hope, and I think Obi right now is just looking around and scouting, trying to find somebody around here, and they do find Jonah, who is stealthing a little bit downstairs here in the House of Pain, but they do get caught out a little bit, and Obi is able to get this almost, I don't want to say free down because he had to look a little bit, but this was a very, very early down. This is very good for Obi because there is only about 20% on one generator, and that is all the progress we see around the map. So very, very good position for Obi to be in right now for this early game. And I think he's doing a little soft check to see if anybody's hiding near this hook, but I don't think wants to commit too much time into that. But with this win condition, if Obi is able to catch these survivors unhooking in his face and then go for a tunnel out, I think it would be a good idea, but I don't think Obi necessarily has to do that here. If he's able to find a high progress generator, I would say he could just commit, but at this point, we're almost halfway through this hook stage onto Jonah, and Obi has not seen any very high progress generator or much survivor activity, so I do think Obi should camp this to second, which it looks like he plans to do. If Obi is able to confirm the second stage, that would be very good because if you can get a 3v1 anytime soon, getting more than 6 stages is a very, very easy task. If you're able to go into 3v1 this early into the match, it would be definitely an achievable thing to 4K even, but we do see one totem get cleansed off in the distance. Obi is just revving this chainsaw, making sure nobody can come in here, do any silly business and unhooking his face, and we do have a survivor coming in here from the House of Pain to unhook. Main building, the preschool here has already popped, and Obi now is, I think, comfortable extending a little bit because the survivors, if they unhook instantly, it's... I don't like saying guaranteed anything, but I would say it's almost a guaranteed loss if these survivors unhook Jonah instantly because Obi could just go back and get a tunnel out at 4 gens, but they also have to get it while it's free and Obi isn't around, which is tricky. And it looks like the unhook came in, and interesting to see Obi isn't going back. I think he camped that to second, maybe just to get the extra hook stage, but isn't really interested in tunneling anybody out, which with how far he was away from this hook when it came in, I understand, but I am a little surprised Obi didn't go back sooner because I would assume we'd see a tunnel out with how he capped that to second stage. But still, we do have 2 hooks on the board. This is already pretty much a third of our win condition almost because we'd only need 7 to win. And now, very good job by Ace with a crouch check here next to this pallet, and he still does have this pallet to work with, but Obi right now just needs to play for these stages, and Ace tried to drop the pallet but was just a little bit too late and will get hit through the animation. So that will be hook stage number 3 for Obi, and right now you just need to find your fresh survivors because Jonah went second. All he really has to do is if he's able to find Yunjin and Jeff and just hook them 1 time each and then confirm one of them dies at the end, that would be a win. I believe that would be 7 stages for Obi, but really at this point he just needs to go for whoever is convenient. I think the only way Obi loses this match is if he spends a lot of time going around the map not chasing survivors and not just getting 1 hook stage here and there, because that's really all he needs. He just needs a hook stage here and there. We already have pretty much almost half of the win condition when only 1 generator has popped, so still a dominant position for Obi and Elysium here, but Tamashi does have the opportunity to pick this up and bring back this rough early game because nothing has really happened for Obi in a while here, and if these survivors are on point with their communications here and not getting caught out like we saw at the beginning of the game, it's still definitely something they can bring back here. But Obi right now finding Jeff, and I think this is a survivor you don't really want to chase right now because we have the Shack pallet next to this House of Pain and maybe some other stuff, so it could be a very long chase. But Obi can't ping pong around the map too much without chasing anybody, because eventually you do have to commit. We do have more hook stages to get, and Obi does have the luxury of being able to leave some chases here, but you can't do that forever. You do need to commit at some point, and if you're able to get a hook on Jeff or Yunjin here, that would be really good, because that would be the third fresh hook acquired for this win condition, which would be a pretty big deal. And I wonder if that's why Obi is leaving. Does he want to get a fresh hook here? Because we did see him just leave Ace, and now he's committing to Jeff, so I think Obi's starting to realize that, like, hey, I need to get these fresh hooks in, because now the survivors do have some generator progress, and Obi could lose this if he's not careful. And very good dodge by Jeff here, but we'll be getting the Shack pallet drop. Oh, I know Obi probably not too happy about that. Stepped back a little bit, but still got hit by the edge of the hitbox on that pallet, and will be eating the stun. But right now, Jeff is running towards the House of Pain here, and I believe we still have the pallet downstairs, but Obi, knowing that he's in a safe spot, might switch targets here a little bit. Is this a Yunjin? This is Yunjin, which is another fresh hook survivor. So would pretty much do the same thing for Obi here in terms of points, but you need to make something happen soon, because we have Jonah on a 30% gen here, and Ace about to pop his own generator. Obi had such a firm grasp on this trial at the beginning of the game, but now we're watching it slip away from him. We have run around the map so much and dropped a few chases. We're still at 3 hook stages, and the survivors are down to 1 generator left. Even if Obi found Yunjin or Jeff and put them on a hook and camp them to death, that would not be a win. That would only be 6 hook stages on 3 fresh survivors, because we have not hooked Yunjin yet, so Yunjin or Jeff yet. So Obi, I think, needs to snowball a little bit, make something happen. This is, on the bright side, even though it's not a fresh hook, this is going to be your death hook survivor. So we're still only at 4 hooks, but we are in a 3v1 now. So Obi does have something he can do now, where even if they pop the very last generator, he can definitely, with a killer like the Hillbilly, slug a survivor and get another one before forcing the last one out. There is the opportunity now, so I do think Obi finding that death hook survivor may have been the little momentum shift that he needs to bring this game back, because this was Obi's game at the start. But Tamashi, I did say earlier, they do have a chance to pull it together if they're very coordinated and don't get caught out in bad positions and give him any free downs or anything. And Tamashi did such an amazing job in this mid game here. The early game was looking a little bit rough, but they were just so on point on their macro here, and made Obi lose control of this game. But now Obi knows what he has to do. He just has to get it down and take a quick hook or slug if he feels like he's able to. But right now, Ace, I think, has the fate of the trial in his hands. You really need a good chase here, but Obi actually leaving, he knows that this generator does have progress, and Yunjin only has this 1 pallet here. After Obi breaks this, she doesn't have any other resources, and Obi doing a very good break on this angle here to make it so Yunjin is stuck in the corner of this map, very, very badly zoned. But that's the last generator popping, and if Yunjin gets hooked and camped to death right now, that will not be a win. So Obi either has to slug or get her and instantly find another survivor, and it looks like he's trying to hook here. But we have Jeff, who just started a door over here, I believe by the 2-story house, and Ace going in for this pull. This will be a very close game. You do need to find, I believe, Jeff to win this. Or, because right now we have 5 hook stages on the board, and it's 2 more, or sorry, yeah, we do have 5 hook stages on the board, and it's 2 more if this person dies. Actually, no, this would be a win. I'm sorry, I did miss that up a little bit. This will be 7 stages if Yunjin dies on this hook. I miscounted. I thought he had 1 less, but yeah, I think Obi is just happy to take this. We are at 5 right now, and we can't really do anything about this unhook without, I don't know, a blind or something coming in, because yeah, with the insta down from the Hillbilly, there isn't really much you can do there. They did get Yunjin off this hook, but now we have a fresh hook survivor on the hook, which is even worse. So this game is pretty much over. I think Tamashi just went for it because they have nothing to lose at this point. They go for this play or they lose the match. So I respect it, but unfortunately for Tamashi, that will not result in any funny business happening. This will not change anything here. Elysium will take set number 1, which is a pretty big deal for this matchup, I think, because Tamashi picked the Hillbilly. This was the set that Tamashi, I would assume, feels more comfortable in, because the next set is Elysium's pick, which is Trickster on Ormond Lake Mine. So I'm excited to see how that match goes and see what I'm assuming Obi has to show on the Trickster, because we are not seeing any Xeno here today. So I wonder if it'll be Obi on the Trickster and maybe Uncle Grandpa again on the killer for Tamashi. But we'll be right back after a very short break. We're going to set up this lobby, and we'll be back with set number 2 with some Trickster Elysium killing first. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hello everybody, welcome back to Tamashi versus Elysium. This of course is going to be another winner brackets game for round 2, and last set we did see Elysium take the victory in the Hillbilly set. And now we are on Elysium's pick, which is some Trickster on Ormond Lake Mine. And we do have Obi playing Killer yet again. A little bit of a, I don't want to say an unorthodox build here. Corrupt, Agi, Painres are all common perks, but we're seeing No Way Out come in, which is a little interesting to see. We normally notice these players with a build that helps you prevent all the gens from popping, but Obi actually wanting some late game slowdown with that No Way Out, and Claudette will be taking this chase over here. I wonder if she was in that locker for head on. She was in that locker for head on. Okay, so very good game sense by Obi there, catching that out. That is our head-on survivor. And Claudette here, not in the best spot. We do have a few blades on the laceration meter here, but at a lot of these tiles, the Trickster can gradually get these blades in one by one over time, and Obi actually missing that one, so Claudette's laceration meter will be going down a little bit here, but she does get a few on this window, and this is really the Trickster counterplay where you kind of just have to fully send your pathing in one way and hope it works. You cannot hesitate. Obi doing a very good job getting those knives in around that tile, but Claudette is going to be put on a pain resonance hook, and I have not seen Trickster perform on this map yet in a comp setting, but I think I'm starting to see he's not too bad on this map here. I mean, Claudette, I do think did have a good chase for what she had, but a lot of these tiles, if you're going from one to another, the Trickster can hit you with blades going to them, and not all these pallets have high walls around them, so very lethal with the blades, and not really a whole lot you can do on every fielder here. So Trickster definitely does have a lot he can use to help him on this map, but we are seeing Uncle Grandpa here, our David player, going downstairs in the main building here. And this is the thing, Obi, even though it is best to tunnel out, if he's not hard tunneling right now, that's okay, because he is getting those No Way Out stacks. And we are seeing this main event come in. David is pretty much guaranteed dead here. There's no way you can dodge that. Yep, very good job by Obi there, knowing he can kind of just send that main event there, and David doesn't have the distance to make it anywhere. And this could be probably another pain resonance here, if I would assume that's where Obi's going. Yep, so this would be another pain resonance, another minus 20%, and our second No Way Out stack. And I'm eager to see if that No Way Out comes into play, because especially if Obi has somebody already eliminated from the game by the time the 5th generator pops, that No Way Out makes it so hard for the survivors to get those outs in endgame, because what you see a lot of the time is these survivors will have the last person die far away in a corner, or maybe force a locker somewhere while an exit gate's opened and the other people get out. But that No Way Out could make a difference here, and I am very interested in seeing how much value Obi gets. But we are seeing a kick come down on that generator, and we don't have any pop, we don't have any eruption or anything like that, so that will only be the minus 5% on the kick. And we are seeing survivor playing for that unhook from behind the main building here. And right now, because this hook stage is so close to going second, I think Obi right now just wants to secure this, especially as a killer like the Trickster. You really have no reason not to. The survivors cannot just go in and trade. They cannot unhook in your face. And Obi, I do think, making the correct play here. We are going to make sure this David hits second stage here. And now Obi coming back to the main building here, and we will be laying down another kick on this generator. But this is a price you pay for bringing a perk like No Way Out. You don't have eruption or anything like that to help regress these generators anymore, but that will slowly regress in the distance while Obi pressures other survivors. And I think Tamashi here on the survivor side, I think they know what Obi is doing here, because with a killer like the Trickster, when you have a hook and a generator setup like this, you don't really have much of a reason to leave. So I think Tamashi here is pretty much accepting that Uncle Grandpa will die on this hook, but they do need to get as much generator pressure in exchange for this, because if Uncle Grandpa dies right now and we have 3 gens up and not a lot of progress across the remaining generators, then that would almost guarantee a 4K for Obi, especially with an endgame perk like No Way Out. So these survivors really just, I do think, need to try and get as much of this objective done before Uncle Grandpa dies. And I don't really know if that's what's happening, because we did see Obi cut off the survivor from unhooking David here. So that is one survivor not doing generators, and we are going to see Uncle Grandpa die. That is the only survivor here for this unhook. And we have the main building generator with some progress, as well as, oh, Shaq. Okay, looks like it was Shaq. So I don't want to say this is a terrible spot for Tamashi because, as we saw last match, you can definitely get the momentum back in your hands on the Survivor side, but this is, I think, significantly more difficult now because I do feel like Tamashi could have had some more generator progress during that last hook stage, and maybe we're a little too worried about trying to sneak an unhook in. We'll have to see if that backfires, but Obi right now is chasing Yunjin here, who is very, very close to taking this injury from these knives, and that will be a health state, and Obi is actually just going to take that injury and leave because he is worried about this main building generator, which I do think is a smart play here. You don't want to leave this alone for too long, especially remember we don't have eruption on this generator or anything like that. Obi has to defend it just as a regular killer here, and I think he may be trying to get a very strong 4K2 result here. I do think Tamashi should still, at the very least, be able to pop one more generator before this is all said and done. At least one more. But Obi, very, very competent killer player, as we've seen. It is really anything is possible. If Obi has one good main event usage or anything like that and is able to slug somebody, this game could be over very quickly. So survivors of Tamashi have to be very careful here. And Jeff right here playing this tile. Again, this is one of those tiles where you can't really do anything versus a trickster. The short walls make it so he can shoot over pretty much all of it. So on this map, I am learning more of these things about the trickster. Maybe if you're Jeff there, the only play really is to just run as far away as possible and die away from main building, but not really a whole lot you can do there versus the blades. And that will be, I believe, the 5th hook stage of the trial here. But we are hooked deep in the generator setup here. This is a loose 3-gen with the main building and this middle map generator, but Obi, I do think, is happy with this because now he knows where both of the other survivors are and knows that Claudette should be playing for the unhook from this side of main building, and is correct. Drops right down on Claudette's head almost, and we will be seeing this edge map palette get played, and Obi has to be careful. You really cannot afford to eat a stun on this palette, and Obi knows that and will be playing carefully around it. But a little bit of an early swing there, and I think Claudette here is definitely making the correct play. You want to die as far away as possible from the generators, or if the killer slugs, you have to make it waste as much time as you can and try to die far away, as we are seeing Claudette do, because I think you know you're going to die there. You just have to try and make your death mean something and make it inconvenient for Obi, because if Obi slugged them inside of main building, this game could already be over. But good play by Claudette there, going to the good old comp corner and dying over there, so Obi can't have a slug right on top of his other survivors. But right now, I think that the strategy from Tamashi here is we're staying injured, we cannot heal, we do not have time to heal, and we are just going to sit on these 2 generators until one of them pops. And that might be enough. Yunjin living here is actually a very big deal because now she gets away from that, and Obi knows if he commits, they can double that main building generator and pop it. So he has to leave, and Yunjin is still up. So it's looking more and more like this last generator might pop, but oh, Claudette getting caught out, and Obi, I think that's what Obi needed to get a 4K1 here, because just statistically speaking, if Obi commits to any single chase, if the survivors are positioned well, it will be long enough for them to double this last generator. But Claudette going down there, I think, gives Obi an opening here to get a 4K before all the gens are done. What is Yunjin doing? Is she sticking the generator, or is she picking up? It looks like she is picking up. So Obi right now will most likely just play this slug game where you chase survivor A, leave them on the ground, go for survivor B, and do it over and over and over again until everybody's on the ground. And right now, that looks like the only viable strategy if Obi wants to defend this last generator. The only way you get a 4K1 here is if you slug and do this. And Obi, I think, on his way to this 4K1, because we have main event up, and yeah, there's not really anything you can do on the survivor side here. It looks like this game will be a 4K1. Tamashi, I do think, did a good job at the start of the game after how quick of a first down that was, but I think the main mistake here, if I'm not, if I can be a little bit critical of Tamashi here, is I just don't think there was enough generator pressure for that last hook stage on Uncle Grandpa. I think that was the main issue. If there was, both these generators here in the end game are very close to popping, and if there was just a little bit more here, a little bit more there, I think they could have at least gotten down to that 4K0. But Obi still doing a very good job. Of course, the survivors of Tamashi played well, and Obi did have to work for this 4K1 in the end because one mistake from Obi, one overcommitment or one pickup when he should slug could have resulted in this last generator from popping and maybe even some outs. You never know. So well played to Obi, staying composed under this pressure and getting this 4K1. But Tamashi's killer next trial will have a difficult win condition. They'll have to 4K1 to tie, or 4K Elysium at 2 gens left to get a win, which is very, very difficult for the Trickster, but he is one of the more explosive killers in the game. That main event can really call still balls like almost no other killer can, so it's really nobody's game until it's all said and done. We'll be right back. We're going to set up this lobby for potentially the last trial of this game if Elysium is able to take it, but we'll be back for the second trial of this Trickster set, this time with Elysium on Survivor and Tamashi on Killer. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to maybe the last trial of this matchup. I am so sorry. I don't know why I accidentally reset my filter. You didn't see that. You didn't see any of that. All right, we're here with Tamashi killing versus Elysium survivors. And last match, we did see Obi for Elysium get a 4K at 1 generator remaining. So pretty much all Elysium has to do is pop 5 generators, and they would take the sets and this whole match, actually. So we will be seeing the first chase come in onto Syl, and did win that 50 there. I think Killer thought that he would medium vault the window, but he actually is just going to keep wrapping around and will be medium vaulting this time. And Syl not getting hit just yet, but is going to be pathing towards the shack here. I think he's expecting to take some knives on his way, but as long as he makes the shack, then that's all that matters. Syl is not going to be dropping the pallets, but gets the window vault here. And I wonder if this was too greedy from Syl. If you get shot a few times here, ooh, I think that's main event, but to still make it out. Okay, Syl does make it out. He does have to be very careful, though, with about 2 or 3 more blades, and he will be going down. And right now, if Syl's able to break line of sight, he can actually die all the way here in this corner, which is, I would say, a very, very good death spot, because I would imagine Elysium is working topside generators. And yeah, it does look like they're on the main building, and that one closer towards mid-map, it looks like they doubled that one. So there might not be a very good generator setup for the Killer anymore, because we did see that double come in, and Syl went ahead and died all the way in this corner. But exact same build on our Killer as we saw from last trial. Just like Obi, we do have Tamashi's Killer here running Corrupt Intervention for that early game slowdown with Agitation, Pain Resonance, and No Way Out. So it's a little unfortunate if Killer for Tamashi here gets No Way Out value. That means they've already lost the game, because they do have to 4K1 to even get a tie here. But right now, I think they are kind of just going and saying, I need something to happen right now. 2 generators popped for this first hook. I need to find somebody stealthing for his unhook. I need something. But Foku here looking around, not seeing any rotation. We're not spotting out any survivor going for his unhook just yet. And to be honest, with this being Elysium, it's, I wonder if they saw this Killer start searching around. Maybe if somebody had eyes on him after he left the basement and saw that he was looking for a survivor stealthing, Elysium could have just made the decision already to stick their generators here and not even go for his unhook. Ivan is in a chase over here, but I would imagine Pedro and Zynox are on their generators, and they are. Yeah, they are going to be letting Sylhe go second. I would think if the Killer went far away enough, Ivan could have maybe been here in position to unhook before second stage. But as soon as Ivan gets found there, you have to let Sylhe go second, because right now, by the time Sylhe dies on this hook in about 45 or 50 more seconds, Elysium has enough time to get another generator done if they double it, and they have 3v1 with 1 generator remaining. But Trickster isn't like the Blight. He is not a very highly mobile Killer. You can't get around the map super fast, and you can still do something in the 3v1 here, but it actually looks like Elysium is not planning to do that. I am eating my words a little bit. Zynox is down here in the basement trying to get this pull, but realizes he can't get it in time, will have to run up the stairs, and now this is very bad for Elysium. We have 2 survivors in the basement. And okay, actually 1 survivor in the basement. I think Foku here wants to take this Pain Resonance. We have not seen a Pain Resonance all game, because both of our hooks have been in the basement. But if there's a time to get Sylhe, it's now. And looks like Ivan went down there to unhook Syl, and Syl will be taking that borrowed time hit. But main event coming in on this hook. Pedro cannot unhook just yet. There is so much going on. This is what I was talking about earlier. Trickster isn't the most powerful Killer. It doesn't have mobility like Blight or anything like that, but such an explosive Killer, because right now the game almost just slipped out of Elysium's hands. If one more thing went wrong there, that could have been Sylhe dying with another survivor potentially going down. But Elysium was able to somehow get Syl out of that, and we still have 4 survivors alive, which is a bright side for Elysium. But on the not so bright side for Elysium, we have 2 injuries and a survivor in chase. Right now, you really just need to get this last generator done before anything crazy happens. I think Pedro is making the decision right now to just take this chase far away from this double and let them continue working it, because if Sylhe and Zynox pop that double, they win the match. So I think that's really their only priority right now, and I think they are sticking it. But no, they did get pushed off, it looks like. Yeah, I think Foku caught the high progress generator, but Elysium, even though it looks a little scary right now, they are still in a position to pop this last generator. They just need to be very careful because with everybody injured versus a killer like the Trickster, it is very easy to have something happen where the killer can slug or get one good main event use. But Elysium, if they have this calm and collected macro where they know where the killer is, they know where the active generators are, and they're not dying on top of each other, this should still be in their hands. But I would say Foku is doing a very, very good job here for Tamashi, defending this last generator and making Elysium work for it, because this is not an easy win condition. We have already achieved a tie condition, so Tamashi cannot win this set anymore, but really just fighting hard for this tie. And Elysium still, simply because Silhei got out of that, we still have a 4v1, and I think that is really going to be the biggest deal here. There's 4 survivors that Foku has to keep on their toes and prevent from popping this generator, and 4 is a lot to deal with, because look, we have 3 of them on the screen right now. All these Elysium survivors are just ready. They are ready to double or triple this generator for whoever the killer chases. And that's what's so hard, because if you're in this position and you've already eliminated a survivor, you can definitely do something. You can try to down somebody and slug and end the game, kind of like we saw Obi do earlier. But now we're at a point where it's so much to deal with. When there's 4 survivors on their feet, they can just always double or triple a generator no matter what you do, no matter who you decide to commit to. And Pedro here looks like will be going down towards the shack side of the map, but not before I waste a little bit of time. We do have some edge map rock juking, and this is where it hurts so much to not have eruption or anything. If you had eruption down on the generator and were able to regress at 10%, you could go back right now and try to defend it or do something. But that is the 5th generator popping. Elysium will officially take both of these 2 sets here with the Hillbilly and the Trickster, and they will be progressing in the winners bracket, and Tamashi unfortunately will be sent to the losers bracket. But Elysium instantly proccing No Way Out here on the gates. Even though the outcome of this trial has been decided, or this match has been decided, this trial is not over yet. So I'm curious to see if we'll see Foku pop off here with the main event. Maybe we could see a lot of stages, or even a 4K with that No Way Out putting in some work. But a little bit of a late swing there. Zynox so far is still safe. We're not going down, but Foku is going to be coming back here, I thought, to reload, but we do have main event ready to use, and I think Syl is about to eat this main event. And what are we doing? We're looking at the hook, looking at Syl. Okay, we're going at Syl, and this will be hook stage number 7, I think, if Foku were to just pick up. But oh, Pedro coming in, trying to take the borrowed time hit, but I think Foku's just going to take this death while we have No Way Out still up. And Pedro still with the endurance. That 15 seconds borrowed time really makes such a big difference. And Syl has officially been eliminated now, but No Way Out just ended. We have 2 survivors next to this shack door, and I imagine whoever Foku chases next will just jump in a locker while the others escape, because if you hop in a locker or just die in a faraway corner, the other 2 survivors are probably out. But right now we are finding Zynox at the shack, and doesn't really have a whole lot to work with here. A lot of these pellets are gone because they are just going to be used naturally throughout the game. But I imagine he's going to maybe go in basements and force locker. Nope, we're just going to die in the shack. But that's honestly okay. This door is topside. It's already done. There's nothing the killer can do. Again, the Trickster is not like Blight. We can't ping pong around the map in 2 seconds and slug like that. So Elysium is going to get the better of Tamashi today. It looks like we will be seeing this matchup end in a 2-0, and Ivan here on the Leon Scott Kennedy. I don't know what he has up his sleeve here. I don't know what the plan is. Is he going to just sit on the gate? He is going to sit. Oh my god, the killer picked up because they didn't see Ivan. But I'm not sure what the plan is here from Ivan. Maybe leave through the gate next to the killer for dominance. I don't know. Very well played, Ivan. Are you even out? You are out. Okay, I think the grab got canceled. That was very close. I'm not sure why Ivan didn't leave through the gate next to him and went across the map to work it in the killer's face. But you know what, Ivan, this is why Elysium does it like no one else. This is why Elysium is one of a kind, because of Ivan. But again, Elysium will be taking this 2-0. We will not be going to the tiebreaker set because Elysium won. Hillbilly and Trickster will play to Tamashi. I do think Tamashi really shined at a couple of these trials here on the Survivor side. Very, very good gameplay, but Elysium unfortunately getting the better of them today. And we will be ending the broadcast for a short break for a couple hours, but we'll be back for Ascent versus Jinx at 5 p.m. Eastern or 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And those sets will be Unknown, Doctor, and Lich. Again, that's about 2 hours now for Ascent versus Jinx. But that's all we have for this matchup with Tamashi versus Elysium. Well played to Elysium. And we will be back in 2 hours. Take care, everybody. Thank you for watching Entity's Campfire, and we'll be back soon. Oh, that's what you said.